or if we come to a crime scene and they're an illegal alien with no ID, we're going to take them to jail. So it's okay to throw the book at citizens. In Colorado 2 days ago, a 82-year-old veteran was being robbed at his house. They were stealing his vehicle, his trailer. They tried to run over him. He shot one of the illegals. The illegal pled guilty. The police released the wounded illegal and his cohort, and they're charging him with murder, and he's facing life in prison. So the border has collapsed. Sheriffs are begging for help. 80-plus miles into Arizona is literally run by illegals. There's signs up saying, don't drive down this road, don't go in this national park, don't go in the state park. Arizona's begging for help, and Obama sends the feds in to sue them to block the state trying to restore law and order that is lawful. And it's worse. Senator Kyle meets with Obama, and Obama says, I want that crisis to get worse to force through amnesty. If that isn't high treason, Ted Nugent, what is it?
Well, by all common sense and logic, the President of the United States and most of his czars, many of his administration, are guilty of all the crimes you just outlined. Anybody who doesn't get that is either brain dead or have their heads so far up their asses not to have seen daylight in that last century. I believe that the good Governor Brewer is doing God's work in Arizona. I believe that the good citizens of Arizona, I was down there when the good rancher was murdered by illegal invaders, and that our government did nothing in response to an American being murdered by Mexican invaders. This wouldn't even qualify as a bad script for Planet of the Apes, Alex. But I have confidence. I'm on tour right now. I've already done like 20-some cities, and I got another 40 to go. And I communicate with the heroes of law enforcement, our Border Patrol agents, all arms of the U.S. military are at every concert. We have a little powwow. We drink a little ginger ale and eat a little guacamole backstage every night. And we talk about the important issues. And I believe that there is a growing activism. There's a growing re-engagement of we the people. We are once again identifying the self-evident truth that is articulated and guaranteed in the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, certainly that America is based on the Ten Commandments and the Golden Rule, and overall excellence being the vehicle by which you achieve the American dream. That's now starting to become a fist-pounding communication, a little bit more passionate, more like Alex Jones would do and like Ted Nugent would do. I see a growing fervor and a growing enlightenment and communication amongst families, at the workplace, at church, at school, where we're starting to identify that the president hates America, that the president hates the American dream, that the president of the United States is waging war on the American dream, entrepreneurialism, and excellence. He literally is implementing policies that are a clear and present danger, that are acts of treason, and I believe that come November, like we did up in Massachusetts and a few other midterm elections recently, the incumbents and the Fedzillocrats, the corruption, the entrenched abuse of power that is rampant in our government today is going to get a rude awakening. I believe that we're going to take this country back in a non-violent way. I believe that the very fact that there are more guns per capita in the United States, more ARs, more ammo than any society in recorded history, Alex, the statistics are irrefutable, that is an entrenchment statement. Don't tread on me. You better hope we take this country back nonviolently, because we can and we will, but the alternative will accomplish the same thing.
Well, the system knows that. Well, law enforcement sent us the MIAC and Homeland Security reports. We broke that back in January of last year. And they're not worried about people wearing turbans in caves. That's what they sell the public on. The entire federal apparatus under Lord Obama is for returning veterans, gun owners, conservatives, people like Ron Paul, people even like the Libertarian presidential candidate that's pretty much milquetoast, Bob Barr. They're saying if somebody has an American flag or get us out of the UN sticker on their car, that they want to kill cops. I mean, this really shows the treason that basically those reports, if you boil them down, say that if you've got a portrait of John Wayne or Ted Nugent hanging in your house, you're a terrorist.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. If you listen to the president and his attorney general, his Secretary of Treasury, the entire administration. If you listen to 9 out of 10 bureaucrats out there right now, you literally are hearing without flinching their hatred for America, their support for illegal invaders, their intentional dismantling of this American dream, this American experiment in self-government. So, again, the Tea Party is but the tip of a cultural war spear that is being sharpened as we speak, Alex. Again, I think the prognosis is better than it was a few years ago. The line drawn in the sand has never been more obvious and more defined. I believe that more and more Americans are waking up, that we the people, are the cause of all this. We let the rats into our house for the last 50 years, but it took a really stinky, communist, toxic rat like Barack Hussein Obama and his Mao Zedong fan club to finally wake up Americans that this man, this community organizer-in-chief, hates America, and he would be just tickled pink if America turned into his Indonesian dream. But we, the people, are waking up. The Tea Party is the tip of the iceberg, and I believe that we're going to vote these bastards out ASAP. I believe that the next few years' elections are going to be a shocking wake-up call to these abuse of power monsters that come trickle down from the President of the United States. So we do have to turn up the heat. Anybody right now, Alex, in America, who's not in constant communication with their elected officials, their senator, their congressman, their mayor, their governor, saying, stop the tax and burn. Stop with this insanity of forbidding entrepreneurs from digging for the energy that we, the people, need. The BP spill is but 0.000128% of faults by BP and the drilling industry, whereas the Fedzillocrats are guilty 99.8% of the time of abusing their power. BP isn't the enemy. Fedzilla is the enemy.
Well, I mean, expanding on that, of all the oil companies, and I'm pro-energy, pro-cheap energy, and I am pro-drill, baby, drill. BP are the one oil company that pushed the carbon tax. They're one of the biggest contributors to Obama. They met with Ken Lay of Enron and Al Gore back in 1995 to come up with the carbon trading scheme. And I'm very suspicious, Ted, of this whole thing and the way Obama has been blocking the relief effort and not letting those skimmer ships and other things come in and blocking the states from building berms. I think he wants this to be as bad as possible, and he now admits he wants to get a carbon tax with it.
Well, I think your suspicions are well-founded, and I think that's... And again, Alex, the job of an American citizen is to remain suspicious, to turn up the heat and the pressure and the probing and the scrutiny of our elected officials in our government constantly. So I join you in that suspicion. But I was stating a statistic regarding BP's, spill rate and their so-called accident rate. I'm still not sure whether it was an accident or negligence. I got to tell you, I've never been attacked in my home, but I got a gun in every corner. I've never had a fire in my house, but I've got a fire.
Well, regardless, the rest of the industry shouldn't be punished for BP's bad record, and they do have the worst record.
Exactly.
I mean, that's communism.
Alex, they won't be punished. We will be.
Exactly. So, I mean, look, if my neighbor commits a crime, I don't go to jail with him. That's communism.
Yep. Well, welcome to the Marxist fan club of Barack Hussein Obama. Yeah, it's tragic. Well, God bless you, Alex, for raising the hell that you're raising. And I know your listeners are passionate, and God bless you being right here in the epicenter of the greatest republic in the nation. I mean, Texas isn't perfect, but boy, at least my governor shoots coyotes.
Yeah, here in Austin.
For the right direction.
Ted Nugent, we're almost out of time. We've only got about 4 minutes left with you, and then you've got to go jump on a plane. But a few other questions that I wanted to raise with Ted Nugent while he's with us, tednugent.com. Our site, of course, is Infowars.com. What is your overall view on the government takeover of healthcare? Now we're finding out it doesn't cover the uninsured. Now we find out the insurance companies wrote it. Now we find out the big offshore banks were involved. Now we find out it's just another banker bailout.
Well, and again, God bless guys like Glenn Beck. I've never seen anybody spotlight more cockroaches than Alex Jones and Glenn Beck, and he's bringing forth these videos and showing the statements, the unflinching statements by the Barack Obama cronies out there who have articulated that the takeover of the healthcare industry is merely one of their baby steps, though it could be a giant step, much like cap and trade and the taking over of General Motors and the Fedzilla intrusion into a private business across this country. That's all part of his Marxist agenda. You really examine the voting record of Barack Obama, who is basically a clueless rookie whose only credentials is a community organizer, which pretty much any hippie could do. The president's agenda, his czar's agenda, his administration's agenda. Van Jones was thrown out, but Alex, we all know that everybody around the presidents is a Van Jones. And they're putting on their shirt and tie, and they're backing down their extremist revolutionary rhetoric so that they can be more palatable.